हॅलो डिअर स्टुडंट्स, वेलकम बॅक. गणित मित्र चॅनलमध्ये पुन्हा एकदा तुमचं स्वागत आहे. मागील व्हिडिओमध्ये आपण रॅन्डम व्हेरिएबल म्हणजे काय ते पाहिले. तर रॅन्डम व्हेरिएबल म्हणजे सॅम्पल स्पेस एस पासून रिअल नंबर पर्यंत असलेला एक फंक्शन आहे जो सॅम्पल स्पेस मधल्या एलिमेंटला कोणत्या तरी एका रिअल नंबरशी जोडतो. त्याशिवाय आपण रॅन्डम व्हेरिएबलचे टाईप सुद्धा बघितले. त्याच्यामध्ये दोन टाईप्स आहेत बघा, डिस्क्रीट रॅन्डम व्हेरिएबल अँड कंटिन्युअस रॅन्डम व्हेरिएबल. The purpose of defining random variable is to study its properties, and the very important property is probability distribution. Okay, so this is the main point of this video. So let's start. Initially, we will discuss probability distribution for a discrete random variable. For that, again consider the same random experiment tossing 3 coins. We are going to consider this random experiment throughout this whole session to understand all the related concepts. Now let us consider the random variable x such that x is equal to number of h or number of heads. Then every element will be related to the number, either it is 0 or 1 or 2 or 3. Okay, now let us move further. Now consider these values of x 0, 1, 2, 3 and try to find out their probabilities separately. Now consider x is equal to 0. Now remember, x means what? Number of heads. Now there is only one element t which has no head, means it satisfies the value x equal to 0. Okay, so for x is equal to 0 there is only one element t. Similarly, we can find out for x is equal to 1 there are 3 elements from the sample space S. Similarly, for x is equal to 2 there are 3 elements again, and for x is equal to 3, x is equal to 3 means what? 3 heads. There is only one element h. Okay, so number of elements for x is equal to 0 is 1, for x is equal to 1 it is 3, for x is equal to 2 it is 3, and x is equal to 3. The number of elements is equal to 1. Now let us find out this probability. Probability means what? The total number of elements in this particular set divided by number of elements in the sample space. Okay, so there is only one element for this condition, so its probability is 1 upon 8. Then for the next it is 3 upon 8. Then for the next value it is 3 upon 8, and for the last value it is again 1 upon 8. Now let us drop these two columns and just consider values of x and respective values of probability. So we can write the same table as follows. These are the values of x which are 0, 1, 2 and 3, and for each value the respective value of its probability is denoted by p of x, and it is 1 upon 8, 3 upon 8, 3 upon 8 and 1 upon 8. Okay, so this representation is known as probability distribution. Now let us see the definition of probability distribution of discrete random variable. Initially consider the values of x like x1, x2, x3 and so on. Okay, and the respective values of probabilities are p1, p2, p3 and so on. Then the set of ordered pair, the value of x and its probability x1, p1, then similarly x2, p2 and x3, p3 and so on, is called as the probability distribution. But mostly this probability distribution is represented in the tabular form as shown below. We have represented in the previous example where the first row denotes the values of x and the second row p of x denotes the values of probability. Okay, now the most important thing, there are two properties related with the probability distribution. The first property is all pi's are greater than or equal to 0. It means the values of pi means p1, p2, p3 and so on, all those values of pi's are always greater than or equal to 0. It means they are always positive or they may be 0. So the value is always 0 or positive, it is never negative. Okay, this is a very important property. And the second property is sum of all probabilities is equal to 1. So if you add p1 plus p2 and p3 and up to the last value of probability, the summation of pi is always equal to 1. Okay, so these red colored properties are very important, and these are considered as the main properties for the probability distribution. If any one of the property does not satisfy by this particular distribution, then it is not a probability distribution. Remember, we are going to solve some example on this. Let us discuss Determine whether each of the following is a probability distribution. Give reason for your answer. It is very simple, just you have to check these two properties. All the probabilities are not negative, okay, and summation of all those probabilities is equal to 1. Let us do that. Solution. Remember, always concentrate on the values of Px. All these values are not negative. So we can write it as P of x is greater than or equal to 0. Once the first condition is satisfied, move to the second condition, carry out their addition. Summation Px means summation of all probabilities is 0.4 plus 0.4 plus 0.2. And their summation is equal to 1. So it satisfies both the values. All the probabilities are non-negative and their summation is 1, and therefore this given distribution is a probability distribution. Now let's move to the second example. See this value for x is equal to 3. The probability is minus 0.1. So this is negative value and which does not satisfy the condition. What is the condition? All probabilities should be non-negative. They may be 0 or greater than 0. Okay, so when the first condition is not satisfied, this will not be a probability distribution. Let us write down here for x is equal to 3, P of x is minus 0.1, which is less than 0, which is negative value. As probability cannot be negative, given distribution is not a probability distribution. If any one of the condition is not satisfied, then you need not to check the second condition. You can directly say this is not a probability distribution. Okay, let's move to the third one. See, there are all three values of probabilities are positive. So first condition is satisfied. We can write for all values of x, Px is greater than or equal to 0. Let us find out their sum. Summation Px 0.1 plus 0.6 plus 0.3, and obviously it is equal to 1. So it satisfies both the condition. Hence the given distribution is a probability distribution. Similarly, let's move to the fourth one. See, now don't fall for this value. This is negative, but we are not going to consider the value of z. This is the variable. Concentrate on values of probability, and all the probability values are positive c. So here first condition is satisfied, okay, for this variable z. Now let's move to the second condition. Let us have their addition. Summation of all these numbers. Obviously you can do that. It is equal to 1, and therefore given distribution is a probability distribution. Let's move to the next example. This is the variable y and P of y is the probability. Now these probabilities are all non-negative, they are positive. So first condition is satisfied. Now let us have their addition. 0.6 plus 0.1 plus 0.2. It is obviously 0.9, which is not equal to 1. So you can see the second condition is not satisfied, and therefore we can say given distribution is not a probability distribution. Let us have one more. See this one. All the values of probabilities are positive. So first condition is satisfied, no problem. Let us have their sum. Here is the same condition as the previous one. Summation is 0.9, which is not equal to 1, and given distribution is not a probability distribution. So these are the few examples where we can determine the given distribution is the probability distribution or not. Let us move to the next point, probability mass function. In short, it is called as PMF. This is the standard short form. Let us have the random variable x such that its values are x1, x2, x3 and so on. And the corresponding values of probability are P1, P2, P3 and so on. In general, we denote all the probabilities as Pi is the probability of xi, means P1 is probability of x1, P2 is probability of x2 and P3 is probability of x3. असं आपण ते डिनोट करतो, म्हणजे सेपरेटली डिनोट करण्यापेक्षा आपण सगळ्यांना एका फॉर्म्युलामध्ये डिनोट केलं. Pi is the probability of xi. Okay, now what is the probability mass function? See, if there is any formula to represent all these probabilities P1, P2, P3 up to all these things, all these Pi in the single formula, then that formula or that function is called as a probability mass function. Okay, so let us see that if there is a function f such that that function xi represents the probability Pi, okay, for all possible values of x, then that function is called as probability mass function or PMF of x. Okay, it is very simple concept. Remember, instead of representing each value of probability separately, P1 and P2 and P3 and P4, Okay, just represent them all by the single formula. If it is possible to denote a formula, then that formula or that particular function in the form of formula is called as probability mass function. We will see the example. But before that, let us discuss one more point, which is known as cumulative distribution function, or in short it is called as CDF. Definition: consider the cumulative distribution function CDF is of a discrete random variable is denoted by capital F, and it is defined as follows. Okay, it is very simple. This cumulative distribution function is equal to capital F of x is equal to probabilities of all variables less than or equal to x. So if you want to find out cumulative distribution for the particular value x, then you have to add all those probabilities from the starting to the value of x. And the addition of all probabilities is the cumulative distribution. See, the fx is equal to, starting from first value, probability of x1, probability of x2, up to probability of x3, and up to the value of probability of x, up to this value. So you have to take addition of all probabilities. It means it is the cumulative distribution function. Okay. Let us discuss it more. See, values of f can be calculated as follows. The first value, if f of x1 is there, then it is the probability of x1. Okay, so the first value is the same as the probability. The second value of CDF is f of x2 is p of x1 plus x2. So all the values before x2, you have to add those probabilities. So x1 plus x2. Similarly, for x3, probability of x1 plus x2 plus x3, and so on. Now we will see the same random experiment tossing 3 coins, and we will discuss all these conditions. So initially we have seen that this is the probability distribution for the given random experiment tossing 3 coins: 1 upon it, 3 upon it, 3 upon it, and 1 upon it. Okay, so now let us move to the next point, PMF, probability mass function. I have told you, if there is a formula which can gives us all these values, then that formula is called as PMF, that is probability mass function. Okay, I am saying formula, it is actually a function, but in simpler word we can call it as a formula. Okay, so what it represents, see, for p of x is equal to 0, if you put x is equal to 0, then 3c0, there is x, so 3c0 upon it. So 1 upon it is always there, so 1 upon it, 1 upon it, 1 upon it is always there. So that is why 1 upon it is there. Concentrate on this value 3cx. So, okay, if you calculate all those values for 0, 3c0, it is 1, 3c1, it is 3, 3c2, it is 3 again, and 3c3, it is 1 again. So you will get the numerator. Okay, so it is represented as 3cx. So this is the formula, or this is the function which represents all the probabilities, and that is why it is a PMF, probability mass function, for this experiment. After this, let us discuss what is CDF, cumulative distribution function. Okay, let us write down first 2 rows as it is, the values of x and values of probability. Now I am going to calculate the CDF. Now the first value is very simple, it is the same as the first probability. The second value means for x is equal to 1. The CDF is addition of x is equal to 0 and x is equal to 1. So 1 upon it plus 3 upon it, and 1 upon it plus 3 upon it means 4 upon it. You can write it as 1 upon 2 also. So addition of these two. For the third value, you have to add these 3 values. It is given by probability of x is equal to 0 plus probability of x is equal to 1 and probability of x is equal to 2. Okay, so it will be f of 2. Okay, so 1 upon it plus 1 plus 3, 4, 4 plus 3, 7, it is 7 upon 8. And the last value, that is f of 3, it means addition of all these previous probabilities, 1 plus 3, 4 plus 3, 7, 7 plus 1, 8, and it will be 8 upon 8, and obviously it is equal to 1. Okay, remember, in the case of CDF, okay, the last value is always sum of all the probabilities. Okay, and we have discussed that sum of all probability is always equal to 1. So in the case of CDF, the last value is always equal to 1. So this is how we calculate the CDF. So these are the basic things related with the probability distribution of discrete random variable. Thank you very much. That's all for today. Bye bye.